And Christine Petty and my Broadway passengers. Say hi, everybody. Hi. Whoa! So, Christine, on my Broadway cruise, what's been your most favorite thing you've done so far?
Oh, I don't know, hanging out on the poop deck.
We don't have a poop deck. What are you even talking about?
It's my little secret.
Annie to the Who. We've been sailing for 4 days. We have 1 day left, and I have all my passengers here. They're wearing T-shirts from their favorite Broadway shows, so we're going to be able to either, praise the show or call them out. Is anyone wearing a cat shirt right now? Anyone wearing a cat shirt? Get the hell out. Hey, everyone, it's the Dueling Divas, me and Christine Petty. Now, Christine, when did you first see Wicked?
I saw Wicked when it first opened, and then I saw it again about 2 or 3 years ago at the Straz Center. So it was over 10 years after it had opened, and it was a very different experience for me. And I have to tell you, I preferred it the second time around. Resonated a lot deeper because you know what? It was political for me. It was much more political.
Very,
than I
very political.
remember.
Yeah, 100%. And what's cool is that what I love about Broadway is that it's not just on Broadway; it's all over the country. I have 3 people here on my Broadway cruise that are fans of Wicked. They're all wearing their Wicked shirts. I had everyone wear their favorite show shirt. So, Lisa, where did you see Wicked, and how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it 4 times. I've seen it in New York. I've seen it twice in Arizona, and once in Chicago.
Brava. And Susan from, what the hell are you from? Let's just say you're from Philadelphia. Susan, where did you see Wicked and how many times?
Probably about 6 different times. First time in Broadway with Megan Hilty and Shoshana Bean.
Yes. And how
Yes.
many other cities?
Seen it in San Francisco. I don't remember where else.
It's just as good out of town, don't you think so?
Yes, but I wanted to see it. They had it. It was in Japan when I was in Tokyo, and I didn't get to see it and wanted to see it in Japanese.
That would be super cool. And Ken, what about you? You're wearing your Wicked shirt. How many times have you seen it, and where the hell have you seen it?
I've seen it twice, both times in St. Louis, one time at the Muni Opera, and most recently at the Fox, the National Touring Company.
See, I think theater all over the country is so amazing. It's not just on Broadway, people. Hey, everyone, it's Seth and Christine Petty on Seth's Big Fat Broadway Cruise, and this is from Pippin. Christine Petty, did you have an anxiety attack seeing Pippin with all those circus tricks?
Yes, I kind of did. I've seen, there was something else. Oh, the Bring It On. I got nervous
Yes.
with all the kids that were jumping around and doing all that stuff. And the most anxiety I ever had with aerial stuff was when I saw, oh my God, it was Ragtime in LA. Jason Gra, a dear, dear close friend who I'd done Forbidden Broadway with. He was Houdini, and he enters being basically lowered down by his feet, bound by his feet from the middle of the stage. And this was the big Schubert Theater in LA, which is a huge stage. There's no way you can be safe if there's a problem. So I just have anxiety in general. Spider-Man gave me anxiety. All those boys just zooming around, going to hit the... My
Go
mother...
back to anxiety in general. You have anxiety during Annie. Anyway,
No, I don't.
Hey everyone, it's SiriusXM on the Broadway. I got 2 of our Broadway guests wearing their favorite shows are Les Mis. What's your name, dear?
Tracy,
How many times have you seen Les Mis?
5 times.
Wow, super fan. I, of course, played in the pit, so I saw it hundreds of times, but from underneath the stage. So I really didn't see anything but my music and my depression because the show is 3.5 hours long. Boy, did it kill me. Riley, how many times have you seen Les Mis?
Over 40.
Over 40? Whoa, on Broadway or all over the country?
All over the world.
Wow, you know there's therapy for that. So, Christine Petty, what's been your favorite sort of marketing technique from a Broadway show, in terms of, like, let's say a logo or a clever something? Because I was just thinking, we gave a prize this week on my cruise for the winner of one of our contests, and it was a shirt from the prom, which says in just giant letters, "We are all lesbians," which I think is a really fun shirt to wear. Can you think of one that you've loved?
I got that shirt, I think, from you, and my lesbian friends loved it and wanted it, so I gave it to them. I know that when we had the opening of Spamilton, Lisa Lampanelli showed up with a little short smock dress, white, and it just said "and Peggy."
Yes.
In big letters, but big letters, And it wasn't a Hamilton swag. It was like from a special merchant company, a company that did that. But I loved that she loved it and that it exists. So that was one of the
"And
things that
Peggy."
comes to mind.
So I'm here with one of my passengers, Sandy, who has a very creative bag from Mean Girls, and by creative, hostile. Tell everybody what your Mean Girls bag says, Sandy.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
It's so hostile. Hey, everyone, it's Christine Petty and Seth Rudetsky on my Broadway cruise. Christine Petty, did you see the revival of Carousel in the 90s?
Oh,
With Audra?
of course, yes, definitely.
And you saw the
Absolutely.
recent one, right?
The recent one, yes, of course, absolutely.
Why are you in a state of shock? Are you drunk?
Because I'm getting Oklahoma's confused, like I'm getting my Rodgers and Hammerstein revivals confused, and I saw some of them in London too. You know, like the Audra one started in London maybe, and then the Oklahoma started in London, and I saw that one in London. Long story.
By the way, we call it R&H, not Rodgers and Hammerstein. That's the hip way of saying it. So here's a little carousel. I have a passenger who's wearing a carousel shirt. This is your favorite Broadway show, or it's just the shirt your wife gave you?
No, it's actually, well, it's both. She gave me the shirt, but it is my favorite show.
And what's your name, dear?
Greg.
Where are you from?
Maine. How do you like that? Carousel from Maine. But I've never been to a clam bake. So
You haven't? And you're from Maine?
never.
I haven't. I'm Jewish. The hell? All right, here's Carousel. So look, I have Christine Petty next to me, and she did not do this song during her act, but I wanted to do some of it. It's the hilarious version of Zip as Elaine Stritch. Just do a little bit of it. I'm so obsessed.
I don't remember the words. You probably remember the words better than I do.
Well, instead of Zip, by the way, it's Stritch. That's the first thing.
I remember that part, but it was when she was doing on Broadway. She was doing the It'll All Be a Delice. Yeah. And at some point, she kicks off her shoes in the show, so they make a mention of that in the lyric. You know, Stritch. I don't remember the words. I just know that. What did they say? Tell me.
Co-stars yell out, put on your shoes.
Oh, Stritch, all my co-stars yell out, put on your shoes. See, nobody knows what that means. At the time we did, though.
Stritch.
And
who the hell drank all the booze? Why do I know it better than you do? All right, here's Zip. You're fired. You're like my mother telling a story.
Lyrics in my head. Over
Okay,
like
it's
15,
not a
20
compliment.
years. Seth Rodet, do you do this show with your dogs around? Because there's like hair on the windscreen.
Of course I do. I do it in my house sometimes with my 4 dogs and my cat. What's your point?
Well, get a lint brush.
That's,
Lord.
by the way, Christine was like, I have something to say on the next break. You've got to let me begin it. That was your vital thing you had to say to me on the air. What a...
Actually, I did have a thought. I said it before. You have so many dogs, and they probably shed, and I could see like a New Yorker cartoon of Seth surrounded by dogs holding a lint brush, looking at it and not knowing where to start. And in the next frame of the cartoon, he suddenly starts to go, "You'll be swell," and he uses the lint brush as a microphone.
Thank you, Christine. Here's Gavin Creel, who right now is starring in Waitress in London. He just extended his run with Sarah Bareilles. So get thee to London. Flights are really cheap during the winter to London, right? They're cheap.
Oh, yeah, I love to go because it's never really bitter cold there like it is in New York. It's perfectly tolerable. It's really cheap. And the Brexit, thank you, dollar's so good now.
Yeah, unfortunately. But bravo for us. So, Christine Petty, we were on the ocean, well, we still are, when West Side Story opened. When are you planning on going to go see it?
I'm not sure. We got to figure all that out. But I hear they cut I Feel Pretty.
Yeah.
What? How? Is that allowed? Is that legal? Can't you get arrested for that or something?
Well, the estate has to approve it. I think a lot of estates of these older shows really want things to be updated and sassafras to appeal to a new audience. So I think they're much more willing to go wacky. Like Oklahoma was a really wacky version.
Yeah, I agree with that because I would tell everybody who was, interested in seeing that new Oklahoma, look, if you've seen Oklahoma a million times, you need to see this new one because you've got enough old Oklahoma in your system to accept some new take on it. If you've never seen it, maybe not. Maybe you need a traditional one. And I think somebody like Sondheim is like, sure, have at it. Why not? Let's see what happens. Yeah. We have plenty of West Side Stories out there. Excuse me. And let's see what happens. You're right.
And I think the new movie version is going to be much more standard. So you can see this kind of wacky one on Broadway and then see the new Steven Spielberg version of the movie, which has already been filmed. I think it's already in the can, as we say in the business.
And Andrea Burns is in that one.
Andrea Burns is in that. Yeah, and they actually wrote her role. She plays the head of the dress shop. So our leads have left frozen. So Christine, we're just talking about West Side Story, and my passengers on this Broadway cruise, those that were on the Norwegian cruise, may remember this story that Cheetah Rivera told, which you'll love. Right before A Boy Like That, there's a locked door, and Cheetah, Anita's supposed to be like, open this door, and like Maria won't, and then like finally Maria does, and like Cheetah bursts through it and like notices Tony there. Well, anyway, the door would not unlock. Yeah. But Cheetah has to come into the room to do A Boy Like That. But it was just a door frame on the stage. So Cheetah knew she had to walk around. And so Cheetah said, she's like, I'm going to walk around that door frame and nobody will laugh. So she's like, open this door. And then she just like sassily walked around it, which is so crazy because it makes no sense in the time-space continuum. But Cheetah Rivera is such a powerful performer that she literally psychically willed the audience not to laugh. And it worked. Christine Petty, you have a whole career that I've never, ever had anything to do with. You've done voiceovers. What kind of stuff have you done voiceovers for?
I haven't done a lot of them. I auditioned for a lot of them. I'm doing a cartoon now, and I can't, it hasn't aired yet. It's going to be for Nickelodeon, and there's a lot of Broadway people in it. It's a little kid's cartoon, and it's really sweet. And I did something called Steven Universe. These are cartoons. Those are big. Just a couple of episodes, but I did like 2 episodes, and these kids know my character, Holly Blue Agate. And but I also do celebrity sound-alikes. And on Howard Stern, I have done and said some of the most unspeakable things as Julie Andrews and as Joan Rivers, oh my God, and as Oprah Winfrey and I think Maggie Smith and Angela Lansbury. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you give us a hint of any of them?
Oh, I can't even begin. But it's Julie Andrews talking about how people are he is something that we she they is how people are he, she, they, zed. He is something she is they. I have no fucking clue.
Oh, and I gotta go. So speaking of Gypsy, I have 6 passengers on this cruise. They're wearing T-shirts with their favorite shows. They all kind of got together, and Alicia was in charge. Alicia, I love these Broadway shirts. I wish I understood how to make like a shirt with all these different, which by the way I think is completely illegal. But how did you make a shirt with all these amazing playable covers? How'd you do it?
I didn't make them.
What did you do?
I went to a printer and we downloaded all the, if you call them logos, for each show. We downloaded the logos, and then I didn't like the way he did it. It was too boring.
You don't sound controlling at all. Go on, yes.
And I'm the least controlling person in the world, right?
No one's responding.
Not a leader.
Go on.
And instead of like that, I said, let's make them funky and move them around. And then I said, let's put all of our names in so nobody will see. Because they didn't see it till we got on the ship, and I handed them out.
Surprise party.
So, yeah, we had a surprise party. So, I didn't know, did you guys notice right away that your names...
So their names are actually... They have all these different shows. They have A Chorus Line, Hamilton, Oliver, West Side Story, My Fair Lady, Pippin. Then on the back, How to Succeed, Carousel, American in Paris, Milk and Honey, which is a very obscure one, Gypsy and Disaster.
It was our mother's favorite.
Very, very sweet. I would play a song when I go to the piano, but I'm actually too lazy to get out of here. But I'm too lazy to get out of my chair. You guys are from Delray Beach. Here, I'll play 5 seconds of one of your favorite shows. Here, Christine, hold the microphone for me. All right. So what are the different shows? Call them out.
Milk and honey.
What else?
Bye Bye Birdie.
Bye Bye Birdie.
There are men. Oliver. West Side Story.
We're out of time. Okay, bravo. I still got it. And how do I get out of here? Okay, so everybody, we are on. We're rehearsing for our big variety show. So I thought I'd have Christine sing the end of the opening song that we're doing for our variety show. Christine's gonna have the solo. Okay. So Christine, someone gave me.
Someone gave me a wonderful present, something I needed but yet never knew. So start the whistling and clapping, 'cause under the wrapping was you. And we'll give life quite a tumble, and we'll live life.
Except for the piano playing part. Still got it. All right, so it's Christine Petty and myself on my Broadway cruise, and we're trying to figure out what falsettos is made of. Christine Petty, do you remember?
I remember March of the Falsettos,
That's
and
Act
then
One.
it's falsettos,
No. Act 2 is
falsetto land,
falsetto land. Listen to my passengers, and then combined they are what?
falsettos.
So I'm having everyone wear a T-shirt from their favorite Broadway show. What's your name, dear?
Missy Black,
And your favorite show is?
falsettos.
Now, did you see the recent one, or did you see the one in the early 90s?
I saw the recent one twice and then in the theater, the movies.
Oh, you mean when they filmed the Broadway show? I don't want to brag, I saw the original March of the Falsettos when I was 13 years old when it was off-Broadway. I saw Falsetto Land in 1989. I saw Falsettos in the early 90s, and I saw the recent one. So I beat you, Missy.
Wait. Rewind for a moment,
Yes,
please. You, a 13-year-old Seth Rudetsky, went to a musical about a 13-year-old Jewish boy having a bar mitzvah. What went through your mind?
I hate that boy. I gotta go. I was furious.
I bet you were.
So I'm here with Christine Petty on my Broadway cruise. Christine, you're traveling with your sister. Do you guys get along or nonstop fighting?
Yeah, we get along. You know, I've done so many cruises all by myself. And then a couple of cruises ago, my sister came along, and I thought, well, you know, it's what do you call the break? A midwinter break, and it would be a shame not to use this extra bed. And anyway, she passed the test.
Yeah.
She passed, and then I brought her daughter. She passed too. So either they're both very easy to live with, or I am. I don't know.
What's your mom like on a cruise?
Oh my God! We have a photograph of my mother and father. They came to London with me, and my pianist was traveling with us as well. And there is a trolley at not JFK, Heathrow. The amount of luggage was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. No, forget it, impossible. But a lovely lady.
What kind of comment does she make after a cruise?
Oh, about the coffee. Oh, the terrible coffee. You can't get a good cup of coffee. But how can these people live like this without a good cup of coffee anywhere? Not even tea can you get that's good. That's how she feels.
Whenever I travel with my mother-in-law, 70% of the time the food is quote-unquote inedible. And on top of that, she always has a napkin nearby. She'll take a bite, spit it into her literally can't even swallow it. It's quote-unquote that bad. It has to be spit into her. James is laughing in the back. It drives me up the effing wall. So, Christine Petty, what do we think about Renee Zellweger winning Ye Old Oscar? I'm glad that she won it for a musical. It shows that musicals, I mean, it is kind of a musical, don't you think so?
Well, it is a musical. What's interesting, I've said to you in the past about this movie, is that she does not sing for probably at least a full half hour in the film. So you get accustomed to her as Judy, the person, and the singing is almost after the fact. You know, we get into her life and her issues and her struggles and her challenges and stuff. I think that you have to admire the fact that she seemed to have gone into it with all the right intentions because of the way she speaks about Judy Garland. I thought her Oscar speech was beautiful. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous.
I'm just happy that it won because I think there's such antipathy, is that the right word, towards musicals, or at least there was in the past. And I'm just happy that Hollywood can realize that you can actually have a really successful movie and have music in it.
And the Golden Globe she won too, I believe.
And the Golden Gloves. What, is that a boxing competition? Anyway, by the way, we played a song from Chicago, and I should have given a shout-out to Robin Kaufman, who's wearing an amazing Chicago shirt that her daughter made that literally says he had it coming, and it's all in glitter. So, Robin, brava. And both are stunning. So, Robin Kaufman's daughter, brava. So, Christine, we're going into Anastasia. Again, is it Anastasia or Anastasia?
Anastasia, they call it Anastasia. My friend Ed Stoudemire is on the national tour, travels in his car with his dog to all the different performance venues, and he listens to this channel everywhere he goes.
So you're allowed to take a dog on a national tour?
Well, it's not backstage, Seth. It's in the hotel room and in the car. Yeah, sure.
Wait, why not backstage?
Well, I don't really know, Seth. Ask the Performing Arts Centers. Maybe he is backstage, but it's not required. He goes to hotels that accept animals.
By the way, you sound like my husband when he's mad at me. I don't really know, Seth. Why the hostility, Christine?
I can't quite tell you why, huh? I don't feel hostile at all, Seth.
Such a dickbag.